morning and welcome to the Hemet San Jacinto Student of the Month program. My name is Karina Zermino. I sit on the Student of the Month committee, and I'm also here this morning representing Altura Credit Union. The purpose of this program is to recognize and honor our students here in our valley for their character, love of learning, commitment to academics, in addition to their involvement in school and community activities, and their ability in overcoming difficult life circumstances in a setting that honors God, our country, family, and free enterprise. So now for the real reason that we're here, and this is for our students. I thank you in advance for coming up here and sharing your story with a room full of strangers. I know that it's a hard thing to get up here, especially when you're being blinded by this light. But it helps because then I can't really see anybody, so it works out. But, oh no, turn it back on. So I just encourage you students to be relaxed. I know it's hard to do that. To share with us what your future plans are, what you have overcome, because it encourages not only the adults in this room, we're a bunch of crybabies and we love to complain about all the things that we have on our plate, and we sometimes think, I don't know if I can get over this hump. When we come here and we listen to your stories, it encourages us. It makes us go out there and be kind to others, to not complain as much. So know that you are really here to do a purpose for all these grown adults in this room. But again, we thank you. I know sometimes we don't like each other, but we're going to stand as close as possible. So if there's a party of 5, we can have 2 and 2. We want to make sure we stand close enough for the video and the pictures. This does move up and down, so you can do that if you need to. And once again, I thank you for being here and sharing your stories with us. So I'm going to call our first school, which is Hamilton High School. Dr. Natalie Riddell, principal, student Sarah Navarro, and her guest and mentor.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we wanted to thank the sponsors and the dignitaries and the committee for all that you do to put this on for our students. It's a wonderful program, and thank you for that. Our Student of the Month at Hamilton is Sarah Navarro, and I won't speak long about her, but she is, although I could, she has been in our student leadership for 4 years, and in that capacity, she's always had a strong work ethic and is willing to do anything and is supportive of everybody that she comes in contact with, and always with a smile. She's also Coach Miller, who was supposed to be here, but unfortunately he's unable to, so he quickly told me what he wanted to say, so I'm going to quite quickly try to say that. He also said that, when we needed help with a manager, she's been his baseball manager for 3 years running. She's also one of our stellar academic scholars. She's got a 3.5, and she's taken 5 of our AP courses, and she plans on attending Cal San Marcos, possibly, and I'll let her tell you what her career she strives to be for. But without further ado, here is Sarah Navarro.
Okay. Hi, my name is Sarah, and this is my principal, Dr. Riddell, and this is a family friend, Christina, and her daughter, Samantha. I'm lucky enough to be raised by a hardworking single father who unfortunately could not be here today. I moved to Anza in 3rd grade, and that is when I met Christina and her family, who eventually became like another family to me. I believe my greatest contribution to my school is being a peer mentor and helping underclassmen get on the right path. I plan to go to school to become a pediatric nurse because I believe that children are so innocent and they don't deserve to be put in situations that they are in medically. And then an obstacle I have had to overcome but still struggle with every day is the loss of my brother Billy in 2016. As time went on after his death, I had many moments where it was hard to even get up out of bed, but I learned to live my life while still keeping him in my heart. A significant life lesson I'm taking to college is to be grateful for every opportunity I'm given and to always trust actions and not words. I'd like to thank you all for allowing me to be here today, and I'm grateful for everything. Yeah.
So thank you again. And our next school is going to be Hemet High School. Principal Dr. Emily Shaw.
Good morning, welcome. I'd also like to thank all the dignitaries and everybody who makes this opportunity to recognize outstanding students possible. It seems like just a few months ago that we were sitting in the superintendent's conference room planning what we were going to be doing. And it's been several years. We've recognized many, many amazing students. But Michelle is one of those non-traditional students that, had we not had this program, probably would not have been recognized. And it's a meeting that we had 2 years ago that really sticks in my mind often when Karina says, we'd really also like to hear from the students who've overcome some challenges. And it's not just your top tier students that we'd like to hear from. And Michelle Aldaba is one of those students. So she's a student who, when I was telling our superintendent, I went through and counted her interventions from the time that she entered our school as a freshman until just the end of her junior year, and she had 69 interventions for academics and behavior because she was a struggling student who had a problem interacting in a positive manner with others. But Michelle, and I think last year I saw several emails about whether or not she was even going to continue school. I don't think she wanted to. She had a 1.6 GPA and she was significantly credit deficient. But she's turned all of that around, and her teacher, Ms. Esposito, would like to tell you a little bit more about that turnaround and why she's here today. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Esposito, Shannon Esposito. I've known Michelle since her sophomore year when she had me for English. We had a lot of really good conversations. She wanted to be an instructional aide. And then I went out on maternity leave and was gone. And when I came back, I kept hearing that Michelle was struggling. And when I talked to her, she told me she was going to drop out because she turned 18 last summer. And she wasn't seeing any need to continue school. She has family where she can go. She was planning on leaving and going to Mexico with her grandma. And we had a lot of conversations about, no, she really needs to stay in school because she really, really wants to work with little kids. And she really wants to help kids. And as her junior year progressed, she started making decisions. Her and her mom is an amazing support for her, started changing things. And when she came back her senior year, she took 0 period. She went to adult ed. She made up every class that she was behind. And she's teaching the preschool class. And she's a very shy, quiet student. And every day I see her at lunch, and we have conversations about how much she's turned her life around and what she's overcome and what she's planning on doing. And she still wants to work with kids. And she's considering now going to school to maybe become a preschool teacher instead of just an assistant. And this is Michelle. Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Aldaba. Last year I was failing most of my classes. And I did not want to come to school anymore. I was so done with everything and everyone. I was so stressed out. I just wanted to drop out. I moved to Mexico. How I overcame everything was because of my mom and Mrs. Esposito. They helped me out through my struggles and hard times. I want to say thank you to my mom, who would pick me up from school and would make sure I made it to my night classes. She brought me in the mornings to 0 period. She never gave up on me or left my side, because I wouldn't have done anything without my mom and her support. I did and gotten so far without Mrs. Esposito or my mom. and I plan to attend San Bernardino Community College, and I plan to become a preschool teacher once I graduate high school.
Well, I'd like to say, right now, Michelle has a 3.0 GPA, and she's maintained that for her entire senior year, in addition to all the classes that she's made up, so she's doing an exceptional job. Now I'd like to turn it over to Mountain View High School and Mr. Ken Swanson. Thank you.
All right, well, you can see I don't have a student with me right now. It's because I decided to choose myself because I wanted to get all the good stuff that's in the backpack. Actually, Danya Peralta couldn't be here with us today. I'm hoping to bring her next month. As much of us all know, sometimes life gets in the way of things we want to be, where we want to be, and we don't always get to be where we want to be. So, but I do have Dr. Lawrence here, who is a fabulous teacher at our school and makes differences in the lives of kids every single day. And she's got a story to tell you about our young lady. So, Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, good morning. I'm honored to be able to present for Danya this morning. I just wish she was here. It's with admiration and awe that I get to tell you about her, and it is through a writing that she did in our English class back in October for her scholarship letter and combined autobiography. My name is Danya Peralta. I'm 18 years old, and I was born and raised in San Diego, California. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and I am the eldest out of 4. I come from parents who are illegal immigrants. They didn't raise me with a silver spoon in my mouth. They raised me to believe that education was the only way to live a good, successful life. My mom and dad were not the typical perfect couple. They were both high school dropouts and drug addicts early on. So growing up, they really put pressure on me to be the good role model for my siblings because they were not the role models themselves. My high school years were really tough and traumatic. My freshman year, I had to undergo brain surgery, and the recovery time was longer than expected, so I missed a whole year of school and I got behind. The situation alone was embarrassing because I knew I was capable of so much more, so getting held back to the same grade was sad for me, and that made me not want to go to school. I'm going to stop here for just a moment. When the student's saying she's embarrassed because she was behind in school is huge. Because Danya Peralta would come to class with something that maybe someone like myself would be embarrassed of, and that's showing up with the physical remnants of a brain surgery. And the child never wore a hat. It didn't bother her. But being behind educationally did. With the help of my uncle, I enrolled in Garfield High School. Garfield helped me to produce at a fast pace to recover my credits and helped me to boost my self-esteem. I felt like myself again, and going to school made me feel so excited because of the teachers and my peers. It felt like a big family. My junior year, I had the opportunity to take an English college class, which was taught by a San Diego City College professor. I succeeded at that and produced 5 college credits. In March of 2017, my family and I were evicted from our home. We had no place to live and ended up in motel after motel. Keep in mind, San Diego is expensive and it's overly packed with people. It was stressful, and I had to stop going to school again to help my mom keep our family together. We made the decision to move to San Jacinto, California, but we had nowhere to live. Now I'm a senior at Mountain View High, trying to get through recovering the last of my credits. After I graduate from high school, I plan to attend Mount San Jacinto College to study child development and education, then transfer to San Diego State University. I plan to work a part-time job to be able to maintain myself and not let my mom finance everything. A career I want to pursue is being a social worker or someone that can help children and teens and preteens recover from traumatic events from domestic violence. I want to be a powerful voice for them. I can be someone, a voice, one that I never had when I was in need. I want to be able to finance myself into my next step of education. Every step of my journey in school, my mom has always been by my side and never gave up on me. I want to prove to myself that all the chains that have held me back in my past can be broken. I can aspire to reach goals that will allow me to be successful. Sincerely, Dania Peralta. So, she really inspires me. Just like Karina said at the beginning, there are things we go through as adults that we complain about, and this child showed up and wanted to show up in classes and become a graduate. And so I am just so honored to be able to tell you about her, and perhaps next month she will show up.
Thank you very much. Luke Smith from San Jacinto High School, come on down.
Again, I'm always impressed with the quality of the students that we choose each month, and the stories and the challenges that are overcome by our students just really puts us at a moment of reflection, and I appreciate it every month. And I'm very proud to represent San Jacinto High School here today, and the continued project that we have as far as recognizing these students. I think it's an amazing thing. And as I was sitting here, I was thinking about our student. I'm happy to introduce to you Glenn Lopez. And when we talk about overcoming challenges and we talk about the things that life brings us, Glenn has an interesting story for that. But what I was reflecting on is more about a story of legacy and a story of how this program actually creates a legacy among our students, and it has over several years. And Glenn is a product of that legacy, and his family is a product of that legacy. His brother is recognized each year for a memorial scholarship. That's the Daniel Lopez Jr. Memorial Scholarship. His brother was a prior recipient of this award from Mountain View High School. And reflecting on the things that life throws us, and then being able to overcome those things and make it part of what we do, making it part of our own legacy, is what Glenn is all about. Not only is he a student at our high school, like many other students, he goes through his classes as he needs to, but he makes connections with people that goes beyond what a normal student would do. He's had built a legacy of his own at our high school through Mr. Still and the choir program, and Mr. Still will introduce him as well. But he's also has a passion for biomedical, a biomedical career pathway. He's gone through 4 years of our Project Lead the Way biomedical program. But if that's all we look at, we wouldn't understand the legacy that Glenn has, and the one that he'll continue to have after today. And so with that, I'd like to introduce Mr. Keith Still, who will then introduce Glenn.
Good morning. I am Keith Still, choir teacher at San Jacinto High. Thank you, Mr. Smith. And thank you, Mr. Swanson, for wearing your SpongeBob SquarePants tie. Appreciate that. Love Mr. Swanson. It is my honor to be here, and I'm just excited to be here with Glenn. He's a stellar student, and he's been with me for 2 years now, and he's just a leader. He's a silent leader. He's one that doesn't reach for the stage or doesn't clamor for attention. He just simply does his job. He was elected as a choir officer this last year, and he fulfills his role perfectly. He is, like I said, a silent leader. He's a positive student. He comes into class every day on time and just admits positive, just a positive attitude, and he's rarely negative. I don't know if I've ever seen him negative, actually. He's coming in with a smile. He's encouraging his tenor section. He's a tenor, and he's actually developing into quite a good singer, and he's quite the support. He's a self-driven student. I can give you countless occasions where he has done his role, done his job without being asked, and he just does it on his own. and I just love him. He's just a wonderful student and a joy to teach. So I'm just so proud of Glenn. So please help me welcome Glenn Lopez.
Hello, how's everybody this morning? I'm really bad at speaking in front of people, so I'm so sorry if I mess up. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Glenn Lopez, and I am very honored to be here this morning to receive this award. I'd like to say a special thank you to my wonderful parents who are here this morning and who have supported me every single day of my life. And I love you guys so much. And, oh my God, I'm so crying. I would also like to thank Mr. Steele for nominating me for this award. Yeah. It's okay. Just get right up. Okay. Growing up, I went through a lot of hardships. I was bullied as a child. I went through a lot of depression growing up. And I lost my brother to horrible accidents. Which devastated me and my family. These things brought me down, and I wanted to give up, and I had such amazing people come into my life and who showed me not to give up no matter what the situation was or what I was going through. So I have used and fought these things in my life that have brought me down as my fuel to get where I am today. But I never thought I'd be standing here in front of all you or ever have the pleasure to be nominated for this award. I believe that I have made a great contribution in my school and my community by helping give back and helping those in need. I am currently president of 2 clubs at Jacinto High School that help people in our community by planting trees in deserted areas, cleaning up parks, cleaning up my school campus, feeding the homeless, donating food to the less fortunate, and simply spending time with the elderly who feel alone. I believe helping those in our community is the only way to have a community strive. Something I will always keep with me on my journey to college is something my mentor said to me a while ago. Appreciate the things and the people in your life. Your life is not eternal. Make a difference in someone's life and strive for success. I try my hardest to incorporate these words into my daily life every single day. Some plans I have set for myself in the near future is attending a 4-year university, and I really want to get into Cal State San Marcos, and pursue my dream work of working in the medical field and helping save people's lives. The reason why I want to pursue a future in the medical field is simply because I want to be able to make a difference in someone's life, whether that's something as simple as prescribing them medication or something as hard as surgery. All right. And I'd also like to say thank you for allowing me to speak here this morning, and thank you for all the sponsors who have supported me and all the other recipients this morning. And I'd also like to say thank you again to Mr. Steele for nominating me this award, and thank you.
Good morning. I just want to thank God, first of all. Because despite of everything, He's our Savior and He is Almighty. Nothing else matters. And I'm very proud of our son, Glenn. Very proud. Maybe he didn't know, but I always knew that he'll be here one day. I want to thank all the sponsors, everyone, the principal, the teacher, and everyone here, because I know that you all have compassion. It's nothing that it can be taught, it's just in you. And I want to thank you all. God bless you.
Thank you. Next, we'd like to invite Tockwitz High School and Mr. Eric Dahlstrom.
All right, good morning, everybody. Lopez family, that was super inspiring. Thank you for being a model for compassion. That was breathtaking to see that, so thank you. Thank you to our sponsors. This is inspiring every month. It comes right at a perfect time. You get towards the end of the month and you start thinking, why am I doing this? And then you come here and you remember why. So thank you to those sponsors, dignitaries that make this happen each month. We really appreciate it. So today we have Carl. You may have already seen his, he's got quite the personality. Sometimes when you sit down with a kid and they're not doing well academically, they're kind of lost and don't really have a direction. I sat down with Carl. He has a definite direction. He's not doing well academically, but he has a plan in place. He changed his schedule because he gets up at the time in the morning that most of us only know comes once a day. But he gets up and works on a farm. Hardworking kid, has the dreams to become a veterinarian. He has high character. He'll stand up for any kid being bullied, any female being harassed. He's a hero on our campus, and I'm glad that he is here representing Tockwitz today. Mr. Corcoran will also say a few words. He nominated Carl.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Dahlstrom. Everything that Dahlstrom just said is true, but the real reason I picked Carl is because he has a better haircut than I do. So, no, not really. When I first met Carl, he was hanging out with a group of kids that I would call a very eclectic group of students. They're the kind of students that don't normally get recognized because they're not a part of a specific group, and they're very artistic students, but they maybe don't fit in everywhere else, and so they kind of hang out together. And he walked up to me and said, "Hey, I want to show you something." And he pulled out his phone and he showed me these pictures of these horses. And I was like, "Well, what are these?" And he goes, "Well, this is what I do. I work with these horses, and I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning." I go, "What do you mean you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning? What are you doing getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning? You're supposed to be sleeping, getting ready for school." And he goes, "Yeah, and then when I get to school, I got 7 periods, and I'm in ROTC, and I also practice MMA." For those of you who don't know what MMA is, it's a martial arts, physical fitness stuff. And yeah, that's why I don't mess with him. But anyway, I noticed as I'm watching him, and he ended up transferring to my class, thank goodness, that he, like Mr. Dahlstrom said, would always stick up for the little guy. And his level of compassion is par none to anybody that I've ever met in my life. He's fun-loving, and he did have some issues that he was going through at the time while all this was going on. And I'll let him talk to you about those issues that were happening, because I think they're kind of personal. Let's see what else. I came up with 4 words that describe him. I didn't stick to my script because I was so taken by all of your speeches. I would call him the perseverance level, the compassion, pride, and open-mindedness to others is Carl. And I'm proud of him for sticking with it and pushing forward, because he is truly a leader. And there's a great quote that I always live by: "A good leader makes more leaders, not more followers," and that's exactly what Carl is. So I'll turn it over to Carl.
Thank you, Mr. Corcoran.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Carl. This is my mom. I acknowledge that all of you have your own stories and that not anyone can live through what you have lived through yourselves. I may not be the top of my class, and I may not be the best behaved. But I, as myself, at a young age, was adopted. And some people like to say that, "Oh, I don't know who my parents were. I don't know how to be who I am. I don't know who I am." For me, I made who I am. At a young age, I was introduced to animals. And animals are my life. I can't live without them. Horses are, my saviors, I guess. All of you may have your religions. My religion is the 4-legged animal. So, every day I wake up and the first thing I think is, are my horses okay? We run a 501c3 nonprofit. We go all over the country rescuing miniature horses from abuse, neglect, starvation, and Christmas presents that aren't even wanted anymore. And where was I? So
What makes you strong? Where your compassion in your heart, where all that comes from.
Thank you. What makes me strong is seeing these animals taken care of, brought back to life. They're sick when they come in. They're all hurt. They're all afraid. When we come in, it's our job to make sure that it's like a newborn. They don't know who you are or what you can do to them. Show them you love them. Show them TLC, tender loving care. That's all they need. And from a young age, I could have said, hey, I don't know these animals. I don't know what I can do with them. I don't care. Me being me, I could care less. But I love animals. And seeing them survive, as he said, I'm a leader. So I got to do what I can to make sure other people see that these animals need to be helped as well.
Do you see where he gets his compassion? When he finds himself as a teenager, we all know it's so hard. Where do we do when we're lost? He found it in the sanctuary, giving back. So we all heal that way. When we give something back to others, it makes us feel stronger. And this is what I think he's trying to say is when things are spiraling down and things aren't working out, he goes somewhere, his happy place, and his happy place is with the horses. And if you ever have a hard time in your life, find a happy place, because that's what's kept this young man on track. And I hope I can say this right. When he is adopted, my 3 little boys are adopted, and oh my gosh, if anybody kids are hard enough, no matter what kind of challenges you come into life with. I looked at him as a little baby. I used to carry that one on my hip. That's how big he's gotten. But I knew as a mama, and I've told him this, and he's going to laugh when I'm saying this, there's a puzzle, and I saw these dots being connected very young. I don't know what the picture is going to look like, but you can see we're standing here today with a little boy that had so many challenges when he came into my life. We work together. He finds a happy place. He finds compassion. He has so much love for others. He has a little brother that's special needs, and we love him to death, and so he has compassion. Find something you can love, and your beautiful stories you guys have, all of you. I'm so proud of all of you guys. I cried through all your stories, but he is a good kid. Those dots are connected, and there's going to be a picture pretty soon that we're all going to see, but standing up here lets me know, and I knew very young, that this picture is going to be pretty amazing. I'm so proud of this boy.
I didn't know I was going to be here.
Thank you.
All right, up next, Paul Bailey and Western Center.
All right, thank you guys very much to all of the sponsors and for all the people who make this happen, both within Hemet Unified and San Jacinto Unified, to support it on the back end to be able to make sure that everything works. We greatly appreciate this. I've said it before, when we come here, it's amazing to be able to see this community and the adversity that these students go through, the stories that they have, the support that they have, not only from their parents and sometimes from their family, but also from this community. We can have programs in place. We see that in the districts with their LCAP plans and everything else, but ultimately it comes down to the care of the individual teachers, staff members, other community members who really make that specific difference in helping the students to get to where they need to be. I have the privilege today to introduce you to Ariana Peffley, Ari as most people like to call her. And this is an interesting story and how she's spent the past several years with us at the Western Center Academy. She is a phenomenal student. She has over a 4.5 academic GPA, SAT score of 1440. She's looking at UCLA and UC Berkeley and UCSD as her primary schools. She's involved heavily in theater. She's taken 9 college courses and gotten A's in 8 of them. We won't talk about that last one. And has completed 5 AP classes. She's also been homeless for more than a year. She has relied on the community that we have at our school, on friends, extended family, and the opportunity to continue to make it to school every single day, to be able to focus on making it to a always interesting rehearsal schedule because she's heavily involved in theater and all of the different productions, whether they're happening at Tockwitz High School or at the old downtown Hemet Theater or at the Ramona Bowl. She finds a way to be able to get there. She has extreme perseverance. She has drive. Not always perfect all of the time, but we work through that. And she's grown tremendously over the years, and it has been an extreme privilege to be able to see her grow and to become the person that she is today. And to let you know a little bit more about her, I have the privilege to be able to introduce Mrs. Amy Noizumi Biber, her sponsoring teacher.
Thank you, everyone, for putting this program together. I think this is a wonderful opportunity to recognize our students, especially students who are overcoming challenges and succeeding in the face of adversity. Ari has a real special place in my heart. As Mr. Bailey said, she's had challenges that she's had to overcome, and yet she has persevered. And I think that in looking at a student of the month, if you were just going to pick a student of the month based on academics, if you looked at Ari Peffley on paper, you would see what a great student she is, as Mr. Bailey said. High GPA, great SAT scores, passing AP exams, numerous college credits completed, and highly involved on our campus. Anybody who looked at that would agree that this was a great student. But when you see Ari Peffley, the person, you see so much more. Ari is an amazing young woman whose passion for learning and improving herself has propelled her to success despite the numerous obstacles she has had to overcome. During Ari's junior year, her family was evicted, and while her fellow students were busy juggling their homework and extracurricular activities, Ari was doing the same, but was also having to worry about if she was going to have a place to live. At the beginning of this school year, her family was once again forced to find a new place to live, and they ended up having to separate to find places to stay. Thankfully, Ari has a wonderful friend with a loving and supportive family, and they've taken her in, but I know that it's still very difficult for Ari to not be able to live with her own family. Ari has faced many other struggles over the years, and I feel that I have been very blessed and privileged to have seen Ari overcome those challenges and obstacles. And in the 4 years that I have known her, I have seen her grow so much, mature so much, and really blossom into a very beautiful young woman. What has always impressed me most about Ari is that despite the challenges she has encountered, she has never let that hold her back. On the contrary, with every obstacle, she has shown more determination to improve herself and pursue her passion for learning. Ari turns every challenge and setback into a motivator to do better and be better. Ari has worked so very hard and has really done so much over the past 4 years at high school that she's really served as an inspiration to all of the students at Western Center and to myself. Congratulations, Ari.
I've never given a speech before, so I hope you'll forgive me, but I would like to thank everyone who's spoken today about their own struggles because it's given me the strength to share mine. I am Ari Peffley, a lover of soul music and a devoted gardener of succulents. The greatest lesson I have learned is the essential nature of education, especially to the underprivileged. As an individual whose poverty was a stumbling block to my academics, I have come to learn that education is the greatest equalizer of all. When I remember my childhood, which probably seems pretty silly to the adults in the room, but to me it was a lifetime ago, I primarily remember the feeling of hunger. Not just hunger for food, but hunger for a home, hunger for success, and hunger for 1,000 other things that other people had but I didn't. Knowledge, I believe, is freeing, and as a young student, I believed that if I had it, I wouldn't be hungry anymore. My greatest hurdle, as well as my strongest passion, I feel, has been my family. I am the second oldest of 6 children, and consequently I've had to care for my siblings throughout my entire life. My family was displaced at the beginning of this school year, and I had to find a home with my best friend and her family, the Deatons. My mother and my brothers and my sisters were spread to the winds to live with whoever would take them in. Nowadays, I only see my family about once a week, if that, because we live in separate towns with different people. It is difficult to fully articulate the emotional toll this takes on me. Despite my estrangement from them, however, I've done my very best to push myself forward and seek out the opportunities that will set me free. Over the course of this school year, I have secured a leading role in my school's next production. I am currently the historian of my troop's Thespian Society, and I am a supervising editor in yearbook. I also write for my school's newspaper, and, after acting as secretary for 2 years, am an active member of our National Honor Society. Additionally, I have maintained a position in the top 20 students of my class for the last 4 years. And if that weren't enough, in my spare time, I have a job writing articles online, and that's where most of my spending money comes from. Through my education and extracurriculars, oops, I misread that. Though my education and extracurriculars keep me busy, I still make time to care for my baby sister Emma, who is 1 year old. I do not do this because it is an obligation expected of me as an older sister. I do it because, in teaching her and loving her the best I can, I will hopefully have the opportunity to show her the importance of family and all the things I have learned about myself and the power of education. I hope that, because of my involvement in her life, Emma will have an easier life than the one I've lived. Looking to the future, I know I will inspire the rest of my family by pursuing a degree in comparative literature, the art which freed me intellectually and continues to free me still. I always wanted to become a writer because I knew that on paper, no one would know my background. They would only judge me by my words. Education is my freedom, and despite all that my family and I have been through, it is the one true home for me. I would like to thank Mrs. Noizumi for nominating me for this opportunity and Mr. Bailey for supporting me through middle and high school. I would also like to extend my appreciation to the sponsors and community members who have made today possible. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys very, very much. And next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Janice Jones in West Valley High School.
Good morning, and thank you for having us this morning. Thank you to the sponsors and to all the dignitaries that are present. Thank you to the students. And every month that I come away with a theme. And this month, definitely compassion. Compassion for self, compassion for family, compassion for community, and compassion for animals as well. So, incredible stories, and we have one of our own. So Sergio Camacho is our chosen student of the month for West Valley, and he is very, very well respected on campus for many things. Academics, socially and emotionally, he's a leader among his peers, and he is one of the most talented dancers that we have on campus. When he was a freshman, he decided to kind of expand his horizons. He was recruited by Stacy Bailey to be part of the dance team. Had never danced, I don't think, in his life. And as of last year, he was a professional dancer in Pachanga's production of West Side Story, as well as White Christmas. He is, at pep rallies, the kids just want to see Sergio dance. And he is amazing. So I'm going to let his teacher, Sherry Keller, talk about him. She's his fine arts teacher. But I also want to say that I'm very proud of you. And you have brought so many years of joy to me personally to watch him interact with music, interact with audience, interact with a deeper self when he's on that stage. So thank you, Sergio.
I could probably go on for hours about this young man, Sergio. He's truly, truly an amazing young man in so many ways. after having already recognized his accomplishments as a performer, I would also like to acknowledge his accomplishments as a leader in our programs. Sergio he's in choir. He is also one of the dance captains of our dance team at West Valley, and he is our thespian treasurer, and somehow manages to fit all of these responsibilities into his schedule and work a job. He also teaches at a local dance studio and also takes multiple AP classes all at the same time. I honestly don't know how he does it. I asked him earlier today if he's gotten any sleep lately, and he said enough. He's gotten enough sleep, so he's making it through. But truly, truly an amazing person. And that leads me to the most important thing that I would like to recognize about Sergio is the person that he is. He is one of my favorite people in the world, and I'm so honored to know him. He comes in every day with a smile on his face. He never complains about anything. He is excited to be at school. He's excited to be performing. He's excited to be dancing, and such a genuine role model for his fellow students. And he's never affected by the negativity around him. He can take a group of students and find a way to turn a bad day into an amazing day. I don't know how he does it, but he's truly an inspiration to me in that way. And something about artists. We make it our goal to have a message with our storytelling and everything that we do with our art. And through the years that I've had the opportunity to work with Sergio, we've had many conversations about our purpose in our art. And Sergio has truly mastered the ability to share a message. And that's something that you cannot teach a person. They have to find it within themselves. And I am so excited to see where Sergio takes his career, because I know that he will be successful with this ability that he has to make a difference in the lives of others and not make his goals about himself, but what he really believes is the right thing for humanity and the people in his community and the people he truly cares about. So I would like to say thank you to Sergio for being such an inspiration to me and everyone that we know, and thank you for the opportunity to be a part of your life.
Hello everyone, I'm Sergio Camacho. And before I get started, I first would like to thank Sherry Keeler and all of the arts department for giving me the opportunity to be recognized, because I've never had anything like this happen to me. And thank you, Ms. Jones and Ms. Norris, who isn't here today, for always supporting the arts and for always supporting my journey. So to start, I never at all expected to be in dance or in the arts. Dance definitely does not run in the family. So with me doing everything that I do, it's all new and still is new to myself and my family. It still hasn't, it definitely has not been easy with all the time, the energy, the want for dance, the money that's required, the passion that you need, the sweat, the tears, and blood that dance requires. Along with all of my academic stuff and AP classes that I take, it's just a lot sometimes, but after I started training at the Dancer Studio, I quickly learned that these mental and physical struggles are necessary to grow as a person, an adult, and as a dancer. And as I am growing, and I am also growing and learning every day, and I cannot imagine a life or a day without dance. It really shaped me to be the person I am today, and it has given me confidence in my everyday life. But also with this artistic passion that I have, comes negative attitudes and stereotypes that people tend to judge me on, and mostly we could probably assume on being a male dancer what those judgments are. And although these names and judgments have been difficult to deal with and to be around, ultimately I know who I am and what I'm doing and what I stand for. And taking those names to heart is something I just don't have time for, and I won't allow myself to lose 1 ounce of passion that I have for this intense sport for someone's meaningless opinion. But being in this position of dance and leadership has helped me help other people. At school, I'm able to mentor underclassmen on the dance team that I'm on. During rehearsals for our spring musical at West Valley, which is Anything Goes, I'm able to influence other male performers to consider dance and to consider auditioning for dance team, because I think in the arts it's female dominated, and I think it wouldn't hurt to have a couple more guys in the arts. At school, I'm also able to entertain and show school spirit when performing. At assemblies, I'm able to, as Ms. Jones talked about, I'm able to perform, I'm able to show people and entertain them. And I'm also able to perform at football halftime shows. In my community, I have the pleasure and opportunity to compete with my studio along the West Coast. We competed in Las Vegas a couple weeks ago. I'll be competing in Ontario this weekend, and we've also been to places like Azusa and Redondo Beach. Outside of my studio, I also have the opportunity to perform professionally with Scott King at the Pechanga Resort and Casino. My most recent show was White Christmas, and I've also been in his production of West Side Story. And I do have 2 more contracts ready for me to sign to do with him, which is for Beauty and the Beast and another year of White Christmas. As we get closer and closer to college, I'm getting closer and closer to be an independent adult. As I'm getting ready to start a new chapter in my life, the biggest lesson I have learned to prepare for college is definitely time management skills. Never overcommit to things if you're not able to come through. And my hectic life, along with my mentors who have helped me understand and develop this skill, I've definitely, I think, mastered it. Also, as I audition for schools, I have my eye on California State University Fullerton, and I plan on becoming a dance major to increase my expertise in dance and to hopefully eventually maybe be on Broadway and maybe even be a commercial dancer. And I know it won't be easy, but it'll definitely be worth it. And lastly, I like to thank my family, of course, but also my Lord and Savior God. Being part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has definitely been a blessing in my life, and it's helped me come to peace with so many things, and it's helped me become a better person and a better student and a better son and a better uncle and a better brother. I'm just so thankful for everything that's in my life and for all the people that are in it.
Good morning. I'm Sergio's older sister, Kimberly. I don't know where to begin. He's accomplished a lot for someone his age. He's only 18, and he can say that he's performed in 2 Scott King musicals. He's a dance mentor, and he's captain of the dance team. Sergio puts dedication in everything that he does. He does not accept limitations and conquers anything placed before him. He makes his family proud, to say the least. Sergio is a busy man, as you can tell, but he somehow always finds the time to be the best uncle to his niece and nephew. You can always tell when Sergio comes home because you can always hear his niece and nephew just frantically yelling out, "Uncle is here," in ecstatic excitement. If there was an award for best uncle, Sergio would definitely have 2 of those. Sergio's an amazing uncle, a perfect brother, and a loving son. We love you so much, and we're so proud. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'm going to turn it over to Karina. Thank you so much.
If all the student of the months, can you please stand? I'm going to speak on behalf of all the adults in the room, and you guys just make us so proud. And the word today I heard a lot was compassion from different speakers that came up. And I think if you guys carry that compassion, but if we all can be compassionate the way we speak, the way we hear the stories, and the way we treat others, gosh, our valley, our world would be so much better, wouldn't it? Thank you so much for spreading that, students, because it's not easy. You guys have your own challenges, and they're challenges. I don't call them issues, problems, obstacles. There's challenges because it's just another test for us to get over, a lesson to learn from, and to talk about to others and teach others about. So don't ever look at yourself, look at your past. Glenn said, the student of the month from San Jacinto Unified said, make a difference in someone's life. That's very powerful because we are born naturally selfish. We think about ourselves all the time. And you students, you don't do that. You think of others, making someone's life better. It's not an easy thing at 15, 16, 17. It's not an easy thing at my age. I won't say that age, but my age. We had another student, Dana. She wrote, be a voice. I think all of you guys are that voice. Use it. A lot of kids walk around your school with many other problems, similar problems, more difficult problems or challenges. And if you don't share your story, they would never know that they see a smiling student walking down the hallway. They would never know that you are going through that and how you overcame it. So share it. The last one, and I caught Sergio say, I don't have time for negative. And everyone, unfortunately, we're human and we are attracted to negative. We turn on the news, we hear negative. We talk to our peers at school, at work. What do we talk about? The negative. So it's a great recommendation. Tune out the negative. Be positive. If someone is negative to you, turn it around with something positive that happened that day, or how you overcame that challenge and how it turned into a positive. I applaud you guys so much. I look forward to seeing what you guys are going to do in the future. I look forward to turning on the TV or going to New York one day and seeing you in a performance. I look forward to listening to everyone's great story, and I have no doubt in my mind that all of you students are going to be that great story. So thank you so much again, students. I'm sure you guys are tired of standing, so you guys can sit. Thank you.